I think it's just important for agents to realize that they're kind of always being sold to in this industry as independent contractors because they have control of their own P&L, as you're saying. They have control of their own spending. So it's important for them to be able to put their money to work for them. But a lot of times they don't really track what is working for them and what's not. So it's my job to sit down and say, what have we tried? What have we not tried? What's working? What's not? Let's stick to the things that do work. Let's get rid of the things that don't. And a lot of times, not only does that free up money for the agents, but it also frees up time and peace of mind as well. So it's a fun track for me to go down with them.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Nicole.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm great. What office are you in?
I am in Newburyport, as you can tell, for the art from the Portland Art Gallery.
Oh, yes. I just did a podcast with Michelle from New Report, and she drove all the way there just because the lighting and the artwork and everything looked great. And I'm
Beautiful.
sitting with not great artwork behind me, but that's okay. I am so happy you got on here with me today. I have high hopes for what you're bringing us.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
Can you introduce yourself, Jack, and just tell us how long you've been with Gibson and what your position is here?
Sure. My name is Jack Greaney. I am the North Shore Regional Office Director for Gibson Sotheby's. I've been with the company for about 14, 16 months now. And my job is to really be the boots on the ground, day-to-day support for the agents in our Manchester by the Sea and Newburyport, Massachusetts offices. And more importantly, I am a business partner for our agents. So what that means is I work with our agents on a monthly, yearly kind of lifetime goal setting schedule, as well as building and implementing business plans, marketing plans, and really creating a work-life balance that makes sense to them and that they want to pursue, and then going and getting it.
That's awesome. I love the way that you approach the business planning with agents. I was able to be in a meeting with you last week, and I think it's fun that you have that sort of like, let's almost look at your business like a P&L, and you'll really go through that with them because across the board, stereotypically, that's not what people are really into, or maybe might not be their strength. And so you add a nice layer of oversight to help them with their plans for the year. So I think that's been really awesome for that group.
Yeah, I think it's just important for agents to realize that they're kind of always being sold to in this industry as independent contractors because they have control of their own P&L, as you're saying. They have control of their own spending. So it's important for them to be able to put their money to work for them. But a lot of times they don't really track what is working for them and what's not. So it's my job to sit down and say, what have we tried? What have we not tried? What's working? What's not? Let's stick to the things that do work. Let's get rid of the things that don't. And a lot of times, not only does that free up money for the agents, but it also frees up time and peace of mind as well. So it's a fun track for me to go down with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So talk me through just a little bit more background, I guess, before we dive into like the nitty-gritty of the region that you're in and our kind of our what we've done there, what our plans are going forward. You've been with a couple brands in real estate, and you've been in real estate for how long have you been in real estate?
About 13 years.
Wow, okay. Kind of almost similar to about the same timeline as me. What stands out for you about being at Gibson? What do you like about being here?
The people. That's the reason I joined Gibson. It's the reason I will stay at Gibson. The people come first. The people put each other first, and it's also the most important thing that we consider with every major decision that's made in the company. I can tell you that that's not the case everywhere, but for me, when we're meeting with a new recruit or a new addition to the offices, and the first question that comes to mind is, will these people add cultural value and will they enhance the lives and businesses of the people that we're already entrusted with taking care of their business? Like that's something that you don't see other places and something that I'm really passionate about.
I love that because man, we were just talking about this. It's like managing a business with that as your main priority, the people, is actually extremely exhausting because it's just never, you can't quantify it. You never feel like you're done, but at the same time, it pays in dividends. And so for you to really see that is important because that being the thing you love the most tells me that you're going to then flip and convey that and make that feel across the region that you're kind of hands-on, boots on the ground with, which is the most critical piece. But it's not easy. It's definitely
No,
tiring and you have to get to
it
know everybody and make sure, because not everybody values the same things, but we make sure that you're kind of getting that connection down.
right. And I mean, that's our job. That our job is to support the people that have entrusted us with, they're putting the Gibson Sotheby's name out there. They're representing us. We need to put our all behind them so that they can do the same for their clients. Not every one of our agents' clients are the same. They're all, different walks of life, different stages of life, but they all find a way to connect. And that's why we get such great reviews and such great referrals for all of our agents because they put the people first. And I think on the back end, on the office side of things, it's so important that we do the same thing.
I love that. Thank you. So we wanted to dive a little bit into the region. Can you outline sort of the footprint? I know you mentioned the offices that we have currently. Um, we have Manchester by the Sea as well as Newburyport. But obviously, we're a big player in a lot of the North Shore markets and have our eye on some growth opportunities as well, which we can get into later. But just give me a sense of our footprint, where we're very active currently, and what you saw in 24 and what you think we might see in 25.
Sure. So it's funny you should say that. The Boston Globe a couple of years ago did a story, an editorial called "What is the North Shore?" because people can't really agree. The way that I view the North Shore is Essex County, essentially. So we start at the foot of the North Shore with our Manchester by the Sea office, the Gloucester, Rockport, those areas there, Lynn and Salem. And then we cover all the way up north to New Hampshire and into New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire, a little bit on the seacoast, with Newburyport and Salisbury being the head of the North Shore. And then obviously everywhere in between on the coast. But also, what I'm so happy to see is that we're expanding into the interior of the North Shore as well. So towns like Hamilton, Wenham, Andover, a lot of these, historical affluent communities that have horse properties or beautiful brick schoolhouses, things like that that don't necessarily exist in some of our shore towns. And it's really a diverse community with a lot of different housing opportunities for people, cities, small towns, farmland, beach houses, and everything in between.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did a little bit of exploration out there, and it is funny. Like my cousins on the South Shore, thought that like Woburn, Winchester, Lexington, Concord, they always call that the North Shore. Not really, but it is confusing for people, kind of your north-ish of the city. So I'm glad you gave us that a sense of where we're talking about. And I think the farmland and then also like the equestrian, there's just like so much to the lifestyle out there.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there's horse property people, there's sailing people, there's everything in between. It's just a very active community as well, and I think that shows in our agents and our clientele. And if you want to get a little bit into what I saw last year in the market, I'm actually very happy to talk about that because it's a positive turn.
yes.
Ever since 2020, we've been seeing the homes listed in Essex County in the North Shore kind of on a steady decline, not even a slow, flat decline, but a steady 45-degree decline. And last year, not only stopped that bleeding, but also had a 10% increase in single family homes listed in the North Shore. So what that means is we're seeing greater opportunity for buyers to view more properties, to not feel left out of, the housing race, but not so much that we're seeing prices decline. We saw prices increase 6 and 7% on average last year across the North Shore. But when we've been seeing increases of 15 to 20% in the previous years, that felt much more like stability and much more like a long race that we can continue to run without having a housing crisis on the North Shore.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you just bought there.
I
So
did. We just moved
yeah.
to Ipswich and we're very happy.
That's great. So that's great information for anyone looking to buy, sell, just kind of getting a sense of what's going on there. Give me a sense of your team, I guess I'll call it, the team out there, the Gibson Sotheby's International Realty agents in that region. Any major accomplishments last year? Anything you see on the horizon going forward?
Absolutely. So, I mean, just as a team, as a whole, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Nina, our office marketing coordinator first, who just had a baby. So, congratulations, Nina. She kind of ties the whole thing together, making sure that we're all running as smoothly as possible. But a great team accomplishment was we moved into our longtime, hopefully for the future, home here in Newburyport. And we were actually voted the Greater Newburyport Real Estate Brokerage of the Year by the readers of Newburyport Magazine. And that's a community-based award, so I'm very happy about that. We also had the top individual agent by sales volume in Manchester by the Sea and Kristen Francoeur. We had the top individual agent by sales volume in sides in Salem with Michael Selps. So we're kind of running the gamut, and hopefully we're going to be filling in some of those gaps in the near future with some additional wonderful people and offices in the years to come.
That's great. No, I love it. And give us a sense of the Newburyport, just to kind of double down on that. The Newburyport office, that was an acquisition
Mhm.
through Realty that we did. And I could not be happier with the fit, the culture fit, and just the growth that they've had. Can you give us a sense for their growth? I know a lot of people, it's something that might be front of mind for people that are thinking about stepping back, or even agents that, might be thinking about making a change, just what that transition looked like for them. They really, I feel like the whole team, but obviously that group is just, I can't believe what they've accomplished in just a
Yeah, I
year.
mean, Kevin and Allison Frew came in, I think, with the right attitude, which is we are giving ourselves fully on the business side to Gibson Sotheby's because we trust that they're going to handle our business with integrity. And they just went out and continued being themselves, which is fantastic real estate professionals, fantastic members of their community, and just great people. And what that turned into with the Sotheby's network behind them is, I think, last year, somewhere between 8 and 12 referrals in and out across the Sotheby's network. Much more free time on their hands with Nina and our marketing department behind them. So they were able to actually enjoy the life that they're building for themselves. And also, Kevin maintaining a top agent status in Essex County year after year, and being able to enjoy the business that he's built for himself over the past 20, 25 years, without having to manage all the back office things that really not only affect your time and your quality of life, but also your P&L as well. It's very difficult to make a business work and also be a successful individual sole practitioner. It's just very, very difficult. And once you hand that over to someone like us and we partner
Especially
together,
now.
it really helps amplify everything that you've already built.
Yeah, no, it's getting increasingly more difficult. So yeah, I like to highlight that that's been such a good group, just in general, and just everyone. We have great growth in that region. The Manchester by the Sea office, we have agents that have grown tremendously. I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
could do
mean, if
a
you
podcast
work,
just on that.
yeah, the region as a whole, I mean, we've had agents double, triple their business in the Manchester by the Sea office, but our region as a whole over the past calendar year has increased our sales volume by 66%. So, I mean, that's just incredible growth from within because we've had agents who have sat down, they've committed to educating themselves in a changing marketplace with changing regulation, but what they've done is they've doubled down on the relationships in their community with their past clients and with their social circles. And they've said, this can be a scary time, especially with ongoing litigation and changing regulation you're hearing about on the news. I'm your trusted professional. I'm your expert. I'm going to guide you through this. I'm going to make sure this goes as smoothly as possible and get you the best outcome. And you're going to continue to live your life, and I'm going to continue to be a part of it, as I always
Mhm.
have been. And I think that that's the most important thing is we've turned from people that have to hurry to get transactions done during COVID over Zoom and learn that way to just say, this is and always will be a personal business. And that's what we're in this business for the long haul, building those relationships and continuing. And I couldn't be more proud of our group.
And me too, honestly. And what's so amazing is I will say the between the group, the growth, and just the general great culture that we have down there, that I feel like it's taken a lot to build. And then just you and Nina, carrying that torch. I feel like we have everything we need there, to continue that growth. So I can't say much, but I also think that we do have our eye on things. So I'm going to ask you to give me your wish list. Where would you like to see Gibson? Because I know when we grow with a good strategy behind us and with the interest of all of the agents and helping them grow their business, we've had, really great luck. So what's your wish list as the looking at that region?
Sure. So my wish list is my agent's wish list, right? Where they tell me that they would like to see their business grow. So the number one is the Andover marketplace, a little bit more inland where there's, obviously a higher population center as well, and a lot of international buyers who know our name, who um, I think we could very easily mesh with and who we could see success rather quickly. We have Henry Gordo and other agents doing a lot of business there already anyway. Um, and I think that there are some gaps in the marketplace to be filled, to be quite honest, in that area. I would also like to see, some other shore communities. So Gloucester, I think Hamilton Wenham has a big gap for us to fill in terms of equestrian properties. We already have some great agents doing work there. And then just moving up the coast, we continue to have agents who are dually licensed in New Hampshire as well. So making sure that we continue to help those agents succeed across the border into Southern New Hampshire is very important for me as well.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll revisit this next year. We'll do an end to 2025 and see if we checked any of those off for you.
I hope we do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jack. I don't know if you want to leave anyone with anything else, but my big goal here was just you and I have had a great dynamic going out on meetings together. And I was like, you know what, we need to take this to the podcast because I think it's important for everyone to know we're here and to put a face to the name for you. I know you're so well known out in that area within the industry. And just a huge congratulations to the North Shore team and everything that they've accomplished. I feel so good about that group. And I think that the sky's the limit there for
Well,
sure.
thanks, Nicole. Yeah, I think I'm just so happy to be a part of such a wonderful group of people all working towards the same goal. And like you said, I'm always here if anyone needs anything. But thank you, Nicole, for this opportunity. And I look forward to the next one.
Thank you. Have a great day.